Hi everybody, my name's Conor Caldwell, this is Jim Rainey. Thanks to Belfast Whisky Week, to Paul and to everyone associated with Belfast Whisky Club for asking us to get involved and to be a part of your tasting. So wherever you are enjoying delicious whiskies, I suppose you could be anywhere in Ireland really. Hope you're having a good time. Hope that you're drinking responsibly, although a great man, John B. Keane, once said that drinking responsibly was one of the silliest things he ever heard of, that you should drink just slightly more than responsibly. So you can take that how you like. But so we start off with a couple of tunes there called The Silver Spear, so a good old favourite among traditional musicians. And we followed it then with one called The Glen Road to Carrick. And that's a tune that comes from the southwest of County Donegal. It's my favourite place in the whole world. The Glen Road to Carrick runs between the towns of Carrick and Cashel in the parish of Glen Columkill. So it's a great holiday destination. I'm sure many of you have been there before, and hopefully as things start to ease up in the next few weeks, you can make your effort to go and visit those places and to do your sort of holiday in Ireland this year. I know that's what we'll be doing as well. So with a bit of luck, we'll get the weather and yeah. So what are we going to do now, Jim?
I think we're going to do a song, and that song is a song called The Humours of the King of Ballyhooly. No, it isn't. Sorry, that's the song we're going to do after that. This song is called The Pride of the Springfield Road. It's a song from Belfast. Thought we'll start off a song from Belfast Whisky Week with a song from Belfast. It isn't about whiskey. It's a song about a young man and woman who meet whilst working together in a cotton mill. Belfast used to have a lot of cotton mills. It was a major employer of particularly women. They're all gone now. The mills are still here, but there's nobody working in them. And in this song, they meet in the merry month of May. They meet and fall in love. You'll notice if you ever listen to a lot of Irish songs, pretty much all romance happens in the merry month of May. So we were thinking we're in June now, so that's the romance over for another year. So anyone who hasn't managed to get out of the house, you're too late. You have to wait until next year. But in this song, say they meet, fall in love, and they have very simple aspirations. They just want to get permission from her parents to get married, and then save up enough money to buy themselves a house with a garden where they can grow lots of exotic fruit and vegetables. So it's called The Pride of the Springfield Road, or some people call it the Cotton Mill song.
I presume they'll have a few whiskey tastings in that house as well.
Absolutely, yeah, all sorts. Okay.
She said she loved me dearly, to me she would be true. If you'll go with me, my love, sure I will stay with you. And we strolled along the dam, the birds sang loud and gay. As I met my bonny brunette, she stole my heart away. Her cheeks, they are like roses red, her skin is as white as snow. She's the darling of my heart, and my little Springfield road. Well, now we are to marry, and we have named the day. It's happy we'll be together as we go along the way. We'll build ourselves a tiny house in the garden for a tell, and bring the children up like us to work in the cotton mill. And we strolled along the dam, the birds sang loud and gay. As I met my bonny brunette, she stole my heart away. Her cheeks, they are like roses red, her skin is as white as snow. She's the darling of my heart, and the pride of the Springfield Road. Well, now we have to leave you to the parents, we must go to find out if they'll have me now or if the answer's no. She says they'll treat me kindly, my glass will surely fill. Drink and toast the bride and groom that works in the cotton mill. And we strolled along the dam, the birds sang loud and gay. As I met my bonny brunette, she stole my heart away. Her cheeks, they are like roses, her skin is as white as snow. She's the darling of my heart, and the pride of the Springfield Road. Out for a walk in the merry month of May. The birds were singing sweetly and the lambs did sport and play. Well, she said she loved me dearly, to me she would prove true. If you'll go with me, my love, sure I will stay with you. And we strolled along the dam, the birds sang loud and gay. As I met my bonny brunette, she stole my heart away. Her cheeks, they are like roses red, her skin is as white as snow. She's the darling of my heart, and the pride of the Springfield Road.
Pride of the Springfield Road. That was a song about a romance that blossomed a long time ago in Belfast. And we'd like to do another song now. This song, I suppose, is very loosely related to whiskey. In this song, they actually mention a few whiskey dealers, but this song is actually about a man who makes potching for a living. Potching, I suppose, being the precursor to whiskey. I think whiskey is kind of like an ancestor of the potching. And in this song, he's got a big pile of potching he wants to bring to the market, and he brings it to the market, and he sells it all. And things are going good, and he says he has to hang about. He doesn't want to go home. And I mean, people from here will understand this. He doesn't want to go home because he's afraid of the peelers, which is the police for those non-local people. And so he stays and has a few drinks with the whiskey dealers before heading home. And on the way, he sees a beautiful young woman, and she's so beautiful that he just goes straight up to her and says something along the lines of, "You're gorgeous, how about we get married?" And she goes, basically, "What?" And he says, "Well, look, if you're not convinced yet, I've got a lovely house, I've got 2 ferrets and a greyhound, or no, actually I've got 2 greyhounds and a ferret, and I make loads of lots of lovely potching." And she goes, "Well, that's me, you've sold me." And at this point he goes, "Well, what's your name?" He doesn't know her, so they're getting married before he even knows her name. She says, "My name's Jane." And he goes, "Well, come on, we'll get married." And then 15 years later, at the end of the song, they've got $14. And so he obviously didn't have much of a peaceful life, but so that's it. So he's a potching dealer. And actually, one thing, I don't know if people know this, I was talking to Conor about this before, about where the word spirit comes from, because he's all going to be drinking spirits. And apparently the reason why we call whiskey and potching and stuff like that spirits is because when people were originally making potching years and years ago, when they knew how to make it, but they didn't know why alcohol was made, they thought they were stealing magic from the fairies. So they thought they were stealing magic from the spirits. And so that's why when you made the first thing of potching, you would throw it over your shoulder to placate the fairies so they wouldn't get angry with you for stealing their magic. So that's why we're
Be very careful with the fairies in this country.
You can't watch them. So this is called The Humours of the King of Ballyhooly. 1, 2, 3, 4. How it was with me, if to listen yous are willing, was in yon house behind John Hill where I had lately been distilling. I slung a keg upon me back and started out for daylight coolie. Customers I did not like as I started home from Ballyhooly. I thought it wiser to delay the homeward way for fear of peelers, and in that way I spent the day dining with the whiskey dealers. But as the shades of night came low and I had got me money duly, I bid goodnight to all was there and I started home from Ballyhooly. My heart was like the mountain dew that I had brewed among the heather, and in that way I chanced to spy a lad and lassie walked together. Her neck was like the mountain snow, cheeks like roses blossom newly. She had a voice like music soft and low, she was the flower of Ballyhooly. This young man quickly left her side, was afraid of me that he was, and still this lassie could not hide it, was in love with me that she was. Quickly up beside her came, says I, "Fair maid, I love you truly, and if your parents did consent, will you be me bride in Ballyhooly? I have a house behind John Hill, 2 fine greyhounds and a ferret. Besides I have a little still, the profit makes with you I'd share it. And I have got a feather bed, sheets and blankets purchased newly. Besides I have a ring to wed, if you be mine in Ballyhooly." Her cherry cheeks grew more red during the time that we were talking, and still she hung her little head on the ground where we were walking. He said, "Young man, if you're content, if you say you love me truly, and if me parents' prince consent, well, I'll be your bride in Ballyhooly." I asked her name, said it was Jane, that her second name was Cooley. And then I asked her when to wed, said the sooner wed the better. So I went and asked her parents glad they were prepared to let me get her. They said they wished us luck. They started out for Father Dooley, and at the hour of 12 o'clock we tied the knot in Ballyhooly.
was mean or shabby, and the auntie thought she bought some cloth and make the dresses for the babby. The invitations then went round to which friend we had just made newly. A lighter heart could not be found as mine that day in Ballyhoo. It's 15 years now since we read, during a time when we were thriving. Me Jane, she is a dandy, yet though down the hill of life she's thriving. The family has increased in thought, 15 daughters all unruly. But Jane, she is me queen, and I'm the king of Ballyhoo.
Do it there for us?
Yeah, I'm going to give Jim a chance to change his tune in there. I'm going to play a slow air. I was going to play one that came from the Blasket Islands, actually a tune that supposedly came from the ferries, but when I just landed into the place where we're playing today, as I said, the courtyard of the Duke of York, there's a lovely bit of writing on the grate here, and it comes from the first known reference to Belfast in ancient Irish, and Loch Lee, the name that was put on Belfast Loch at the time, and it mentions a blackbird, which is singing across the loch. So I thought I'd play this really old air called The Blackbird, which is sung in English, it's sung in Irish, played as an air, as I'm going to try on the fiddle here. It's also played as a dance tune. So this is The Blackbird, or on Londu. So that's The Blackbird, and Londu comes from the 1700s, and it's supposed to be written about the Jacobite pretender to the throne at that time, who was in flight from Ireland at the time. I think it was James II. So, but speaks to the earliest mention of Belfast Bell first, or the mouth of the Farset here. So, Jim Rainey, back to the stage.
Hello, and I'm back. We do a song or a tune? So we're very well organised here for this. It's so out of practice of doing gigs, we're not even sure.
Are we going to do some jigs? Is that the plan?
Yeah, we'll do the Behind the Haystack.
Behind the Haystack and Francie Jarrett's jig. So Behind the Haystack, again, it's similar to the first set. It's a good common tune that people who maybe played a bit of music will recognise. And the second one then comes from County Donegal, sometimes called the Ranafast jig. So. Jigs then. Often go very well with whiskey, I have to say.
Yeah, can't beat a pile of jigs with whiskey. Like, we'll do another song. I don't think we've really played this song together before, so let's do it. Let's do it while we're in this lovely courtyard. It's a shame you can't see all the drawings around here and the paintings. It's a fantastic spot. I'm sure most of you have visited Belfast, you came here, but if you haven't, come to the courtyard of the Duke of York. You'd spend all day just trying to work out who
everyone is in the drawings.
Lots of famous people in the drawings and people who maybe they are famous, I just don't know. So we'll do a song. This is actually a Dublin song called The Earl Triangle. It was written by Brenton Behan's cousin for a play that was Brenton was writing, and it's sort of taken on a life of its own. But it's a great old tune, and actually if I remember correctly, I stick my capo on here to sing it. So this is called The Earl Triangle. It's about the trials and tribulations of being in prison. There's no whiskey in prison. And down by the Royal Canal. So when you're down in Dublin, like, you'll know where the Royal Canal is. So here we go.
Hungry feeling my prison cell and the old triangle. When jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. To begin the morning, a screw was bawling out, "Get up, you bossy, and clean up your cell." And the old triangle, when jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. The lights were sleeping, a big Gussie was creeping, and I lay there weeping for my girl Sal. And the old triangle, when jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal. In the female prison, there are 75 women. 'Tis amongst them wish I did dwell. And the old triangle, when jingle jangle all along the banks of the Royal Canal, all along the banks of the Royal Canal. Yeah, it's so weird to do music with nobody there, nobody here to. Even the people who are here are trying not to make very much noise. I think we're going to do another song, and then we'll finish with a set of
It's a
tunes.
very traditional song, this, isn't it?
It is a very traditional song. This is a song. It's not traditional at all, but thought it's nice to do something that isn't Irish, and this song is actually about the birth of a child, but we can pretend it's about drinking whiskey. So it's called "Isn't She Lovely?" So you'll be thinking that when you're drinking your whiskey, you're thinking, "God, isn't she lovely? I'm going to drink the whole bottle." So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute old. I never thought love would be making one as lovely as she. Isn't she lovely? Made from love. Isn't she pretty? Truly the angel's best. Girl, I'm so happy
for you, yeah.
Stevie Wonder. We'll finish with a set of tunes then?
Yeah, so it's been a real pleasure to play for you. Hope you've enjoyed this session and all the sessions that you're taking part in. I know I've been taking part in a few as well. Yeah, thanks to Paul again. Thanks to everyone involved in Belfast Whisky Club and Belfast Whisky Week. Conor Caldwell is my name. This is Jim Rainey. Hopefully we'll be seeing you in the concert venues and bars and whatever near you in the not too distant future, when everything's safe. So in the meantime, have a nice rest of your summer, and we're going to finish with a couple of reels. So we're going to play the Salamanca, we're going to play a tune called Drowsy Maggie, and we're going to finish off with a good lively one called Leslie's Reel after that. So thanks, and we'll see you all soon. Carmichael. So 1, 2, 3. Slan.
Thank you. Ihoi. Good night. Or good afternoon.
It might be the daytime.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.